Hello and welcome. This is Best Foot Forward Shoes, the podcast, and this is episode number 54. Thank you so much to everybody for watching us on YouTube, whether you are also watching or listening to us on Spotify or on Apple Podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much to everybody for listening throughout this year. It's been such a crazy year. I think we've done over 45 episodes just in this year alone. So we're up to episode 54, and today we have a returning guest. It's the man with the mustache. It's it's Seth Eaton. He is the man all the way from Atlanta in America. He is fresh off a Thanksgiving, dinner, your get together with your family. Everyone in America is kind of sitting on a bit of a turkey coma, so to speak. And today we're going to chat a little bit about some sneakers, and we're also going to chat about some blind ranking of Asics shoes from this year. It's been a huge year for Asics, I feel, especially here in Australia. They've had a ton of collabs, and we're going to get some of his opinions on some of those releases. So thank you so much for joining me today, Seth. How you doing, mate?
Boom, boom. We had to run it back. No, man, I'm doing great. Great. Ready to finish off this last month of the year.
Yeah.
There's a lot still to do. So
yep.
We're still busy. We're still busy over here.
I've seen a bit of a trend lately on Instagram. There's been some memes about people who live in or work in corporate. Like they have, the rest of the year off, basically. They have, a month of not doing anything. And I was like, imagine having a job where you don't get to do anything for a whole month and still get paid. Honestly, December, November is probably, and January, like the busiest times of year in my industry, which is events. And so I feel like the next 2 months are the busiest time of year, and yet people are like, well, I'm just going to move my mouse and just chill out for the next month. And I was like, man, it never stops for me. For you, are you feeling like you're winding down a little bit, especially with some of the content that you've been doing this year?
Not winding down at all, dude. It has been, I miss the corporate days where this last little quarter of the year is just a breeze. But yeah, full-time content creation. It's like September through maybe January, February is like just full speed ahead.
Yeah.
No days off, always something to do. It is definitely the busiest time of the year, at least for me.
And you were making a fair amount of content at one of the recent events that you just went to, which was ComplexCon. I know it's been about a month, wasn't it? About a month ago, maybe a month and 6 weeks ago. But is it still fresh in your mind? Have you still got some good memories from that? Like, run us through some of your, I suppose, top highlights from that, because there was a lot of people, myself included, who had a fair amount of FOMO.
Dude, I know. I've had FOMO for years, seeing like all my friends and brands that I want to connect with going to ComplexCon. And this past year, I was lucky enough to go for the first time. Me and Charlie, had some podcast money that we put off to the side from earlier on in the year. And we were like, that's the ComplexCon money. That's just going to get us there. That's all we're doing with it. So lucky we were able to make our way out there. Dude, just seeing all the other fellow creators in person, I think it's just like, it's unlike any other. I believe the only other person, I know I've met Andy a few times, but outside of that, everybody else was like, this is the first time I'm meeting them in person. And Beema. I think Andy and Beema are the only guys that I've like actually hung with. So seeing, Haas, everybody else, like, oh my gosh, it was crazy. So many people, I can't even think about all the freaking people.
Yeah. We've already chatted to Mr. Aaron Diaz on this podcast about ComplexCon, and one of the things that he said was that there were people that he was talking to after the event, and he was like, "Oh, you were there? Like, I had no idea. Like, I was two booths away from you. I had no idea that you were even there. Like, it's crazy how many people were there."
There were at least 5 or 10 people that, because I mean, when you're there, you're not really on your phone as much. Like, you pull up something like as a reference to show someone what you're talking about. But I wasn't like scrolling social media because I was in there soaking it up. But we'd get back to the hotel, and then I'd sort of scroll, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this person's there. This person's there. I didn't even see them. Maybe I'll run into them tomorrow. And never did. So there were 5, 10 people that I didn't even get to see,
Yeah.
which was kind of a bummer.
Were there any
Yeah.
stalls that were like, this is really cool, like this is pretty different? Like I heard that Hidden NY were doing a
Yeah.
little bit of a shock raffle where they had some people handing out pamphlets, pretending to hand out pamphlets like Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
And then they were actually...
Dude, that was so cool.
Yeah,
Man, Hidden's booth was really sick. I got to finally meet Trademark. He's one of the head marketing guys at Asics that I've just been in contact with for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got to connect with him. I actually got to meet Mr. Hidden himself. He likes to stay hidden, which
makes sense.
No one knows what he looks like. I don't even know his name, I don't think, but dope guy.
Yeah.
He surprised me. They actually tricked me when I went to the Hidden booth. Mark was like, oh, there's that guy's hidden over there. And he pointed to the guy who was dressed up like one of the Mormons.
Oh, yeah.
Who was like handing out everything. And it was just this like tall, lanky, like nerdy looking guy. And I was like, oh, I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, okay, like, I guess that's Hidden. So I like walked up and said, what's up? And he was just like kind of confused. And then someone tapped me on the shoulder and they were like, hey, Seth, it's me. Pleasure to meet you. I was like, oh, so y'all are just confusing me right now. I don't know who is who, but they're very ominous, but great group that runs that. Outside of that, the Sponge booth, Salehi Bembry, that whole layout was just beautiful. And I love how accessible the Osmosis model was. I think even until the last day, you could walk up and still buy a pair of the Complex Con exclusive colorway in your size. Like, people weren't just flooding that booth trying to buy everything like they were with, Vans, the Hellstar Adidas, and a few other drops. Like those, I didn't even get a chance at. I did wait in line for 2.5 hours to get the Hellstar Adidas, and as soon as I got to the front, they sold out.
Damn, did that feel like...
I was kind of bummed.
That must have been pretty disappointing, because 2 hours at that event is a long time. It
was right when the doors opened too. Ooh. I ran over there to get in line.
And, that pair hurt. That pair was pretty cool. Big, chunky Adidas Superstar. Like, that's pretty on trend at the moment. I really like it. And I think the apparel was probably even better. Some of the pieces.
The apparel was just so expensive.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I was like, oh, if I don't get the shoes, maybe I'll get a hoodie. But the hoodie's like, $150, $200, and I'm like, I don't know if I even really want this.
And the overall experience of like the actual sneakers list panel was pretty cool. Like by now that's come out, that video has fully come out, and I watched it, and it was interesting. Feel like having 6 guests up on stage was a lot. There was moments where I was like, I haven't really heard this person speak very much, which, if you've been watching the Complex Sneakers, that's been a bit of a topic about some people talking too much, but it's
upscale.
It's interesting.
I agree with you on the 6 people, especially when you have Fat Joe on the panel.
Yeah,
he's sort of his just presence is very loud. Yeah, he makes himself known, so he ends up talking over a lot of people and derailing the conversation, which that alone is kind of difficult to navigate. I feel like if they had just 4 people up there, especially with Fat Joe, it would have been great. Yeah. But I loved seeing Brendan Dunn up there again too. Yeah. That brought me joy because that's the homie.
And his energy was pretty cool. Brendan.
Oh, dude. He was dropping bangers. Yeah. He had so many one-liners. Yeah. That's why I love Brendan.
Yeah.
But after the sneaker panel, I actually did, as well as Aaron and everybody else, have a chance to like talk to Upscale Vandal. I've never met him in person, never talked to him. He's a great dude. I actually enjoyed listening to him and getting to know him a little bit. He seemed very cool, but I agree on the podcast. There are a lot of comments. And I was one of those people, I'm not going to lie, where I was just like, okay, all right. I still listen to every episode, but
Yeah, I understand, and I think you have how do I say it? You got an inside track on some podcasting stuff, because obviously you and the person you spoke about before, Charlie, Winona Kicks, have a podcast. And again, if you want to check that podcast out, the link will be down in the description, as well as all of Seth's and Charlie's Instagram, as per usual. So it was looking like and sounding like it was a great time there at Complex Con. And right at the end as well, you said that there was a shock drop. of the Nigel Sylvester Bike Airs, which was obviously the sneaker of the year, and you had a little bit of malcontent, a little bit of an annoying situation happen with that pair. What was going on with that one?
Man, dude, I was just kind of hyped to get a pair,
Mm.
and I was able to secure a pair on the hype or on the shock drop. But when the pair arrived, like 2, 3 days later, I'm looking at it right now, they
Mm-hmm.
sent me a women's 9.5 and not a
Ooh.
men's 9.5. So I was
Yes.
a little peeved. I'm
Yes.
actually still currently waiting on Jordan Brand to figure something out
Yeah.
because, of course, the second I post that on my story, like I have a few friends at pretty much all the major brands, and one of my contacts at Jordan was like, well, I wish you would have just reached out to us instead of making this post, but I'll see what I can do on the
Yeah.
Jordan Brand side.
Yeah.
So they're still trying to track down a 9.5. I think they found a 9 so far, but
Yeah, it sounds it sounds like it's obviously a very hard pair to try and secure. Of course, being the sneaker of the year, and I felt like the consensus was there. Did it feel like in the room that was a pretty, everyone kind of already knew that was going to happen?
yeah. Oh, I heard people talking about it before they even started the panel. People just whispering about a shock drop happening. This was going on here, this. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, curious to see if this actually happens.
Yeah.
And then, the panel ends and they're like, everybody wait, we have a video. Wait till the end.
It's a good way to clear out the room. Tell you what. I mean, I've worked I've worked at corporate events a lot, and sometimes it is tough to get people out of the building, especially if people are there to chit chat. They're on holiday, a work trip, travel, etc. Everyone just wants to sit around. So I should try and suggest that again. If people want to clear out the room, that's a good way to go.
They really should. I want to see them do more of that in the upcoming, complex cons and events.
Yeah.
I think that's just fun because the brand, like, they know a few weeks or like a month in advance. Like, they make the list, they contact them. I'm sure you listen to the podcast where they talked about that a little bit. So they already knew. Yeah. So they did a much better job than Adidas did last year, I feel like, because last year all they did was just a video from Anthony Edwards, which I thought alone was cool.
Yeah.
But taking it to the next level and doing a shock drop, having thrown out T-shirts, Nigel being there, like, kind of cool. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, for sure, man. And again, it looked fun, and I'm sure a lot of people from seeing these videos of this year will probably be pretty keen to go next year. I would think so.
It's
bringing up I feel like there was a renewed sense of this is pretty cool and kind of people wanting to go. Again, it looked pretty fun. Myself, I don't know if I'll ever be able to go because it's on the other side of the world, and
that's the hard part.
Yeah, it's American culture, of course, is very pervasive in Australia. It's all everywhere, and yet it feels like it's so far away because it's a 12 to 13-hour flight, and it's very expensive.
Yeah.
But regardless, that was a pretty decent kind of recap of an event complex which happened a fair while ago. But let's get a little bit more current. There's been some releases and some pickups which I guess we'll have a little bit of a chat about. One of my latest pickups that I'm not sure if you have actually seen these ones or picked these ones up, but was the Action Bronson 992, the Baklava pair. Baklava brand, obviously. Digitalis Purpurea is the actual shoe name, because they are named after a flower, which caused me a little bit of trouble. They got held up in customs for about 3 weeks because they thought that it was a flower. Obviously, the box was unopened, and so I had to send them documents, call them up to prove my identity, send them a receipt, an invoice, and still I didn't hear anything for about a couple of weeks. And I was wondering whether or not they'd ever ship to me. So yeah, thanks Action Bronson for not making it clear that this was a shoe and not a plant via the name. So anyway.
Man.
And it was an automated shipping, screening process. So it wasn't a person, which kind of makes it hard. You can imagine the amount of packages that get shipped into a country every day that, it takes a while. But when you're sitting there and everyone else is posting about these and talking about them, and I'm just like, I don't have them. I was a little bit peeved, but
Customs is the worst, man.
That was a recent one. There was another New Balance shoe in the 990 range, which you recently got, and I am hopefully getting today, which was the Up There 991 V2. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts about those bad boys. Oh, look at the premium. Oh,
Bro,
Stop it.
this is one that like when I saw the initial photos and
Mm.
everything, I was like, oh, okay. Like it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's great. Like I love it now that I have it in hand. But like
Mm-hmm.
you see the photos and it's just like, oh, it's a black 991 V2, some
Mm-hmm.
3M. Cool. Like nothing
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy. But like you said, dude, just this buttery, full grain
Mm-hmm.
leather, like the carbon fiber hits,
Mm-hmm.
all the green, the calling code. Like
Yeah.
it's if these would have came out in the middle of the year, I
Mm.
think this would have been a very difficult shoe to place on
Yeah.
like the end of the year
Mm.
list. Since it dropped like very recently, I tr- I don't know. It's hard for me on the
Mm.
podcast to like put a list together, especially with all the new shoes,
Mm.
because I'm like, well, I haven't worn them that much. Like I
Yeah.
wore these to Thanksgiving actually,
Yeah.
and then wore them like basically the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And oh my god, I love them. They're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good. All this 3M just looks crazy on foot.
Yeah.
All the little just subtle details.
Yeah.
And it's one of those shoes you put on and you feel like it's that like heritage, vintage,
Mm.
like old school New Balance shoe
Yeah.
that's just like great quality. No
Yeah.
one really knows. Like no one on the street is going to be like, oh, those are the up there's. Like
Yeah.
it's subtle. It's
Yeah.
subtle. If you know, you know.
It's
But
different. That's like
hyped.
kind of this shoe, since I've worn it, basically every single person has like not complimented but commented on it and been like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, those are loud!" Like these are like they're a statement. And then yeah, there's certainly shoes like that one that you're gonna wear and people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's cool," but it's not like a wow kind of shoe. But I feel like
Yeah.
it's almost like a perfect everyday kind of shoe.
Oh, it
Yeah.
100% is. But back to those Action Bronsons, dude. After you started posting photos of those, I was like, oh my God, wait, I do really want those. So that's one that I'm kind of
Hmm.
considering at the end of the year, just because
Yeah.
my first New Balance shoe that I ever got when I worked retail was like a very similar shade of pink, but it was on the 997.
Mm.
And I wore that shoe all the time.
Yeah.
So now that that's like
Mhm.
come out, I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of like a revamped version of my first pair of New Balances, like all
Yeah.
pink. I think that's fun, but
Yeah.
I like bright colors like that too.
Yeah.
Fun to wear.
Oh, it's definitely good to have a bit of a mix, bright, quiet
100%.
kind of things, but also just always staying with that premium kind of New Balance comfort, that feel. And I'm excited to get my pair today, and hopefully, up there always ships very quickly. That's probably the one thing that I will say is that their shipping is immaculate. That I've never heard of
Yeah.
anything getting lost, or I'm sure there has been, but I haven't heard about it. And it always ships very quickly, which is a credit to them because that is very rare. It feels like today.
Yeah.
So, speaking about some of the pairs that we're still waiting on that I purchased in July. Speaking of the advisory board crystals, Puma, I know they sent
Crazy.
another email. About the shipping, which was supposed to get to them in like last week in November. But again, they've all got to get to their warehouse and then they have to go ship internationally. And like I said, I'm in Australia, so it's probably going to take a little bit longer. So I might not see my pair until after seeing other people's pairs, which I guess kind of ruins the whole thing. So, but
It does.
yeah,
And
overall,
like they had such a great concept idea, but like at the end of the day, like that's impossible
yeah,
to
very
kind
hard.
of do.
Yeah.
Like, especially like when you factor in everyone else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean you're going to get your pair the same time I get my pair?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
There's not going to be any spoilers. I mean, to be fair, there's different models. So
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you may get that. I may get this. And
Yeah.
someone may never see like
Yeah,
one of the other colorways. But yeah, I don't know. I
for sure.
admire the aspiration.
There
but
is-
I'm like,
There is still that, I don't know what I'm getting kind of thing. That's, I suppose, one exciting part is like, I don't know which one I'm going to get of the 6.
Yeah.
There's still, I'm still excited about it, but yeah, there has been moments where I like forgot about it. And then I was like, oh, that's right. I did get those this year. Cause there has been, again, so many pairs releasing this year and it's been
Yeah.
like such a wild year to try and keep up with. And again, on this podcast, we've been doing some lists of like top 10 Jordans and top like Adidas. I didn't feel like doing an Asics, but today we're going to be doing a blind ranking of a top 10. So it's kind of going to be a bit of a top 10, but we're going to test Seth a little bit in a moment with some of his, I suppose, kind of ranking the Asics models just off vibes alone. But first of all, I did
Yeah.
want to ask you one quick question about what your thoughts were on the Travis Scott Fragment release. I know that was a huge release that came out, and people have wanted to, first of all, hear about my opinion of it. I've had a couple of people, and I'm sure there's a lot of people asking your opinion on them and whether or not you're actually going to get a pair. So was there any sort of feelings
No.
over there on your side about that release?
I ain't getting a pair. I ain't paying resale, that's for sure. Me and my wife both did enter the raffle.
Yeah.
She actually saw them on Instagram the day before they came out, and she was like, "Ooh, I like these." Like, she was just like, "Oh yeah, I like these. Give me these." And I was like, "Okay." I mean, like, we can try.
Yeah.
We can enter the raffle.
Yeah.
Neither of us hit,
Yeah.
which is not surprising when you look at the numbers. It was like what 4.4
Yeah.
4
4
million
million. Yeah.
raffle entries.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Personally, that's probably like number one or number two for like Travis Jordan 1 lows for me, because I like more of a
The colorway.
simple design, and it's like, hey, it's an all white shoe with a blue swoosh. I love the color blue, and I'm like, oh, these just look great, even if they weren't. I don't care about the collaborations on it. I just care about like the shoe itself, and I'm like, yeah, that's a shoe I would wear.
Yeah.
I wanted them. I was kind of hoping they would, fall off, but they didn't. More people than ever.
Yeah, no, it's
crazy.
I think it definitely is the colorway. Like if it was just like another brown variation, or an olive variation, I think there wouldn't have been that many. But I think with the fact that it was a kind of a new sort of color, well, not a new, they already did one collab, but a follow up with a different kind of color blocking. I think there was a lot of people after it, and again, no direct shipping to Australia or the UK or anywhere else in the world was a huge kind of slap in the face to everyone else. I know they released in Japan a little bit. They had a little bit later, like a couple of weeks before the US release. But yeah, man, it was a bit of a mess, and I think it probably soured the taste for a lot of people because it was very attractive shoe, and it's one of those like you said your wife looked at the shoe and was like, oh yeah, I want that one, and you're like, we can try.
Yep.
I feel like that's a sentiment that people say all the time. They're like, where can I get these? And I'm like, well, you can't. I don't want to sound elitist, like
how much money you got?
Yeah, how much money do you have? You got to buy them on resale, and I have to explain kind of the whole resale and StockX, GOAT, that sort of thing, like resale websites, and they kind of opens their eyes a little bit to what we kind of have to go through or consider every day, whether or not you're going to pay resale. But then I suppose it might empower them to be more on the drop date, like people are going to ask about that up there 991V2, and they're going to be like, where can I get these? I'm like, yeah, you can't. So it's
That's
something
a crazy one.
You don't want to sound too elitist, but it's an interesting one. So let's get into our...
Well, that was me at Thanksgiving. My family was like, oh, I like those.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, they're not even out yet.
Unreleased. Yeah, I suppose
that's crazy.
That's one that you're kind of a wild card. People are like, where can I get those? And like, well, you can get them in a little bit. So, it's
crazy.
Well, we're going to get into our main topic today. Yeah, go for it, Seth.
Back to Travis though, before we do that. What do you think about because he stepped out at F1 wearing the Y3 jacket?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I feel like
I mean,
I loved it.
It's not his first time ever wearing anything with sort of Adidas. He's done collaborations, but even before Nike. And I don't know. I think that people who are saying that he was unaware of what Y3 is and their collaboration with Adidas are silly, because he knows what he's doing. And I think that he's probably trying to stir the pot, perhaps a contract negotiation sort of vibe. I think it would be interesting. I've heard a lot of people say, when you try and go to Adidas or a different brand, sometimes they promise a lot of creative freedom, but sometimes that's not a good thing. Sometimes you need a brand to perhaps rein you in a little bit and try and stick to their, Nike and Jordan have a very curated design language, and they have a lot of checks and balances. And it feels like people who have gone to Adidas perhaps have gone a little bit too far. Some would say too far, but then they've also been able to push their creative boundaries. So, people like Clot, Edison Chen, and then people like Sean Wotherspoon, those sort of things. So I think there's a good and a bad, but I don't see him going to Adidas. No.
I don't either. I just thought it was so interesting because like 2 weeks before that, people were talking about, oh, wait, there's rumors that Travis is like having meetings with Adidas.
Mm.
And everyone's like, nah, there's no way. And then he steps out in like a Y3 jacket. And I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
I was kind of thrown off by it because I was somehow like right when I opened Instagram on that day was like one of the first two people to see that post.
Yeah.
Didn't even like mention the jacket. It was just like Travis Scott at F1. And I was like, immediately, oh, he's wearing a Y3 jacket.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
is up with this?
Yeah.
Why is that? And then 2 days later, everybody picks it up and it's a whole thing. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah. I think I
could be
first saw it
interesting.
on the Hidden NY page, speaking of them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I get a lot
Yep.
of my news now. They're not even really a curated website. They're just like
Yeah.
like they obviously had mood boards and such, but they're now for me more of a news website. So again, keep it up, Hidden. You know who they are, but I'm happy to keep it as an anonymous source for all of my sneaker and fashion news. But man, let's get into our main topic, which is of course an Asics bit of a blind ranking. And the first one, which I'm going to show you if I can get my computer to work, is bam, this one. The Invincible Asics 10.1, the Gel Nimbus 10.1. They had 3 different colorways of this one. They had the blue, they had the green, and I think a almost fully grey one. So I'm not going to put all of them, all the colorways. So I'm just going to give it to you as a main sort of overall collaboration. So out of the 10, where are you feeling like this is going to go in this ranking, which you can see on screen now?
Dude, that one's hard. For some reason, I forgot that shoe came out this year. I would say it's kind of I'd put it 4 because I think it's good enough to be top 5. And they changed like a little bit on it. It does have that sort of protection pack, New Balance look. And I think they did a great job. The green pair they did is, so good.
Yeah,
that's one I wanted.
It's got some like overhanging pieces of the Asics logo. It's got loose threads and such. And I actually saw these in a very small size in a store here in Australia, and they were they were pretty impressive. Like they only had like one size, and it was really really small. And I was like, they've really changed a lot here. The ripstop nylon, like on the toe box and all that sort of stuff is pretty cool. So I definitely dig this one. And number 4. Pretty solid, you know, going with the conservative spot here in the middle of the pack. So
gotta be safe.
Very, very nice. Well, that is going to be in our number 4 slot. And one caveat to this, I will allow you to have like one change. So if at the end of the list you're like, oh, I need to take, I'll let you have one change. So that's number 1. Number 2 is our Australian own Asics and Finesse store. So this one was a Gel Cumulus 16, and this came out roughly around the end. I think it was the start of November was the actual release date, and then they had a later raffle with Asics in the middle of November. But how did you feel about this one, and where do you think it slots into that top 10?
Well, first off, your photos on these were great. All the content you did. This is a model I haven't tried yet because it is new this year, I think, right?
Yeah, they've kind of revamped it this year in terms of
I'm not a big black midsole guy just because I don't know. It just isn't like a colorway that I typically draw myself towards.
Yeah.
I'd put it at like an 8 probably just because I don't think I would go for it, but I like the shoe. So
yeah. Okay. So number 8, you reckon? I mean, this is not my list. Like this is, but I'm happy to weigh in. I feel like this would probably be a bit higher, but I don't know. I feel like I'm also a bit biased because of the Australian nature of it. So
for sure,
it kind of, I suppose, sways. And I think if you recognize your bias, it's okay to be a bit biased in sneakers and all that sort of thing. So I love this shoe. It was such a cool shoe.
And I mean, dude, if it was Atlanta themed, I'm sure I'd be like, oh yeah, that's number 3 all day.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's a great looking shoe though.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
For sure. And it definitely the mesh on it was probably my favorite part. Kind of it was like a woven lace style of mesh, very very feminine, but also because of the color blocking, I feel like it was okay for men as well. So it had some unisex vibes, but also a little bit of female touches on there, because of course Finesse Store, if people don't know, are a female led and design team store. So that's kind of their calling card in Australia, is that they are completely female and women owned. So yeah, and the whole promo images and shoot was all done by women as well. So yeah, thought that was really cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I had no idea. That's cool.
It's a good story, and that was going to be your number 8, which is great. And we're going to have another one here, which we have kind of already talked about. This is the Hidden NY. This is the Gel Trainer DS model. This was the most recent of the 3 Asics and Hidden shoe collabs. This one is actually still sitting here in Australia. I don't know how you're feeling about this one. I know, like these are actually still sitting in a full size here in Australia.
It's not surprising, actually.
I mean, you're always going to get a bit of a fall off, I feel. But how are you feeling about this one in terms of your top 10?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do 7.
7?
Yeah.
6, 7?
6, 7. You get it. You get it. I like the shoe. I think it is my least favorite out of the Asics collaborations that he's done. I'm also just not like a huge fan of that silhouette, that model. Yeah. If this exact colorway was on like the Kayano 14 or like the one you just showed, I think it would look better. But like, at the end of the day, I think it's a good shoe. I've only worn them once, and that was on the way home from Complex Con, and I did like them. But
did you feel like the other colorway was better? The darker black one with the like a little bit of a switch up from the kind of color palette they've already done?
I thought it was. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just the silhouette. I'm just not like huge on it. But I do think the black and blue looked a little bit better.
Yeah. For me, I feel like it's the price a little bit of it. It was like premium price for a model that shouldn't be that expensive. I feel like the GRs of these are $50 to $60 less. I'm
sure.
So obviously the collab tax on there, but I'm happy with that. Number 7, that's pretty cool. And I've yet to pick up a pair, even though I've kind of said I wanted to. That 991 V2, that up there, that really blew out the Black Friday budget. So,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm kind of waiting for that last little bit of the year, and I'm like, oh Lord, what else is gonna drop before I pick anything else up? I don't know, dude.
There's
crazy.
There's probably going to be a couple more, but there's one. Let's continue on with the Asics, and you already spoke about the Kayano 14. This one is the Jound Kayano 14. I'm hoping. I'm not going to tell you where I hope you put it, but give me a little bit of a spot where you think this is going to go in your blind ranking here.
Does this include both pairs?
Both colorways. Yeah. So I just put the blue one there, but there was a yellowish pair, and then this one was kind of like the icy blue pair.
Yeah. So I actually have all 3 Jound Asics that came out this year. Yeah. Both of the Kayano 14s and the Quantum 360s.
The all white one, yeah.
Yeah. I think these. See, I'm such a loser. I would put them at like number 3. Because I wore them a lot this year, and prior to this shoe, I have only been rocking like GR Kayano 14s. Like the one I wore a lot was this exact colorway, but yellow on the gel units, and that to me is just like probably one of my favorite Asics shoes that dropped over the past like 2 years.
Yeah,
just a GR, but it just looks so good.
Yeah,
and this has everything the same as that shoe except blue and the little black details on the side. I just think they're good. Both of them, honestly, this and the yellow pair.
If these came out in 2021, stop it. Game over. So
it would have been crazy. And I get compliments on these.
Yeah.
And the other ones, which doesn't make sense to me because I think if I saw them, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's a GR. But
Yeah.
I've had multiple people. I actually wore this at ComplexCon
Yeah,
on day
right.
2.
Yeah, of
And I
course.
had multiple people be like, "Oh, I like the Jounds." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Dang, that's crazy." I'm in a place where people know what Jound is.
must
Everywhere else I wear them, no one knows.
must be
No one knows.
nice. Must be nice.
Seriously.
um
Shout out Jordan Kaiser. First thing he said to me, he's like, "The Jound. I see
oh
you. Big
yeah.
Jound man myself." And I was like,
I feel like
"I love it."
that would have been a greeting. You don't even need to say what's up or hey name insert name here. It's just nice shoes.
Yep.
Like nice insert shoe name here. Like
That's it.
that's
You win me over if you know Jound.
yeah.
Like that's it.
Nice, nice. I suppose a little bit of side tangent, where did you feel like some of their other releases this year, and there was actually a promo image of the 990 V4 in that classic Jound, it's kind of olive brown
Oh,
colorway. Where did you feel like that their year was of 2025, and what do you think about that 990 V4?
they had honestly a killer year, right? Like I think they had 4 shoes with Puma.
Mm-hmm.
They did like 2 Speed Cats recently,
Yeah.
maybe another shoe, and then they also did the Mephisto. I can't think of the name, but the spiky
The
bottoms. I bought
Mostro,
those.
yeah, the Mostro.
Mostro, yeah. I haven't even worn them yet because I don't know how the heck I'm gonna wear them, but the quality on those is sick. Killer New Balance 990 V3 and 3 shoes with Asics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, if I had every shoe they released this year, which
Mm-hmm.
I almost do, I almost have all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I would be set for the entire year.
Yeah.
Like, I could wear those 6, 8 shoes every day
Mm-hmm.
and be completely fine. To me, they were like top 3 collaborators of the year. But
Nice.
that's because I have like super basic taste in shoes, and I like shoes that look GR,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
you can't get them accessibly. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Mm.
oh, because when I wear the 990 V3s, the brown pair, every time I'm out, they're like, that is a beautiful colorway,
Mm.
like color on the 99 or on a New Balance. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it really is. Like,
Yeah.
it's so good, and it says so much without saying anything at all.
Mhm.
Like, if you know and you see that color, you're like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, I feel you, man, and that's probably the same sentiment I feel about the 992s that they had.
Yeah.
Like came out 2022, 2021.
Bro, you have those, right? You
Yeah,
have both.
yeah, yeah. But the
green
the
and
brown
the-
and the green. Yeah, I don't have any other ones. I don't have the 993. I don't have any of the 991s. But yeah, those I just
You
I
have
just
the
love
Grails.
I just love the 992. Like that's probably my
Yeah.
that's solidified itself, especially this year, as my number one New Balance model. I probably have close to 100 pairs of New Balance, and those 992s are probably in my top 5, like for sure.
That green pair, dude.
Mm.
It does something to me. There's a green 991 V2 that's very, very similar to that shoe. And the only reason I want it is because I can't get the Jounds.
Yeah,
And I'm like, maybe I'll pick those up.
yeah,
But
nice.
retail's high.
Nice.
So, but Jound, love it.
Jound had a good year,
Love it.
and they're going to be sitting at your number 3 spot right here. Now we've got another pair of Asics that released this year, and it is going to be bang. The Kith Asics.
Ooh.
Now, this one, you don't have to give me kind of a specific rundown of it if you didn't have it, like if you didn't pick it up. But I did want to get your, I suppose, overall thoughts. This was a pair and a pack from Kith that came out earlier in the year, so it might have been a little bit. I suppose you might have forgotten about it a little bit. But
I did.
Yeah, yeah, it was a little bit forgettable, I feel, but. Hey, I just wanted to get your kind of opinion on this Asics pair and where do you think it's going to fit in that top 10?
If I had these, I know for a fact I would wear them a lot because I like the way the shoe looks. This is the one that dropped in that like 6 or 8 pack.
There was a 6-pack, yeah. There was lots of pairs.
There were so many. I think the like Nimbus 10.1 that was like all white with the highlight.
Yeah.
That was the pair I liked the most out of the pack.
Yeah.
And I think just seeing them all together, this kind of flew under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's a good look. What model is this?
I'm just looking that up because it actually did escape me as well because there's been so many different pairs releasing.
Yeah.
But they had like this is the Jog 100S. They had the Gel
Okay.
Nuno Beaky. They had the Gel
Hmm.
Nimbus. They had the Kayano 12.1. All of these ones, I just feel like out of all of them, this one, the Jog 100S, was the cheapest, and a lot of people went for this one.
Mm.
But also the colorway was really kind of nice. Like it's a really nice kind
It's
of
good.
muted tones. I would have loved this. Like I've got a pair of the Jog 100S, and the quality is pretty subpar for an Asics, obviously because of the price. So if this was on a more
Yeah.
premium model, that would have gone so well. And again, I think it
That's
was the
the thing,
colorway.
because like the photos make it look like
Yeah,
it should be a pretty premium shoe.
yeah, yeah.
Dang, that one's hard. Because I feel like if I had it, I would wear it a lot. But if it's not like, the best quality,
Mm.
I guess I'll do 9 just because I forgot they came out. But
Yeah,
I think it's great. Like it's a good
yeah.
looking shoe. I like the Asics logo on the top of the foot. That I think
Yeah,
unique.
yeah. That was kind of similar with the Invincible one that we saw before.
Yeah.
That they've got that big ASIC logo on the front toe box, which is really cool. Using a lot of that kind of negative space to fill with branding, which ASICS has obviously some big branding on the side of the shoe, but sometimes people don't know what that the stripes are, and so the ASICS
That's
logo,
true.
people kind of see it a bit more. Like people know the Adidas 3 stripes, people know the Nike check. Sometimes people don't know what the Asics logo is. They just think it's paneling, which is kind of genius in terms
Yeah.
of the way that they design it. So that was going to be in
Makes sense.
your number 9 spot. Now, going to just quickly pull this one up because I've forgotten actually where I put these, which is kind of good because I've kind of blind ranking them myself too. So I've forgotten
Yeah.
what the order was, but this was bang, another Kith. That's right. I put 2 Kiths together. So this was the Marvel Capcom Iron Man pair, but I suppose you can kind of tangentially put one of the other 5 or 6 pairs that Kith did. Far out, Kith put out a lot of Asics this year. I
They
mean,
did.
they put out a lot of Asics.
They really did.
They put together
Oh, and the World's Fair pack.
the
I
World's Fair
forgot about
pack.
that.
Yeah, like
Dude.
that they put out a ton of Asics. They put out a ton of shoes this year. Did Kith? I feel like they were so prolific this year. It was crazy. But this was the
Wow.
Capcom versus Marvel collaboration where they had people. They had the video game. They had the little tiny like Nintendo DS thing. They had all of these characters. This was Iron Man, I think, versus Ryu. From the Capcom universe. So they had a Captain America pair. They had who else did they have? Wolverine. They had tons of
The
different.
Wolverine was pretty good.
Yeah, some good colorways there. But this one, obviously being a very bright red shoe, if you want to rank kind of the whole pack as a whole, I'm happy with that. But where do you feel like this one's going to go in that blind ranking?
We'll do so let's do the whole pack.
Mhm.
Put it at 10.
10. Right. No more. That's surprising me. There you go.
I personally, like, I was really excited for that collection to drop because it's on all the models that I like the
Yeah,
3, and none of them really spoke to me. Like the second early access dropped, I immediately went to the site, was excited to see everything, and I left with nothing. I was not super impressed.
Yeah.
The collection itself, like clothing and accessories, was great, but the shoes, I thought the Gel Light 3 pack was better than this.
If I
for
had
many reasons.
If I had an infinite amount of money, my daily fits head to toe would be Kith. No joke.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
socks, pants, everything. People would probably think I'm a Knicks fan, but I'm not. So because of all the
They
pairs.
do have a ton of good Knicks merch, don't
Yeah,
they?
if you're a Knicks fan, you've got to love Kith. Like it's ubiquitous
You
at
have
this
to.
point. But that was the number 10 spot for you. Now, I kind of put another pair there, just seeing if that colorway would kind of sway you a bit. That was the Ryu colorway. Whether or not that one, I feel like that was a. Sorry, I put it up for you. That one was probably one of the ones that most people were attracted to. It was kind of a better colorway, but again,
I agree.
some people were a little
I don't
bit.
like the white canvas material because
Yeah.
I beat up my Kayano 14s.
Yeah.
Like I wear those shoes. I've got like 6 or 7 pairs.
And
that
the
I just
canvas, it's meant like, I feel like Asics is meant to be for a lot of walking in hot climates, and canvas on a kind of running shoe, not the biggest fan of that. But hey, it was this still pretty cool. But we'll move on to our next one, which I'm not sure if you even know which ones these were, or if you actually grabbed a pair. But this was the Temptation Vacation pair from Asics. This is again on the gel trainer, which is the same model as the Hidden NY pair. This one is a very close to home one for me because it was actually like an hour's down the road. They're based on the Gold Coast here in Australia, so very, very close. They had a few pop-ups. This was unfortunately in I think July, when there was a lot of stuff happening in sneakers, I unfortunately couldn't get a pair, but I really do appreciate it. I've seen them in person. Very, very nice, very good materials. Some people absolutely swear by this shoe. I have a couple of people who this is their favorite shoe of the year, but
really,
I don't. I know that kind of might have thrown you a little bit. My personal bias, I think it's pretty cool, but where do you think it's going to be sitting in your top 10 blind ranking?
I'd put it over the Hiddens for sure.
Yeah.
Which I don't even think I have anything below the Hiddens. Yeah. I like the colorway better than the Hidden, honestly. I'm a huge fan of that like royal baby blue than the brown and cream. I would probably tweak a few of the color placements on this shoe personally, but I feel like a 6. That is one of those that flew under the radar for me. I'm sure I saw photos on Instagram of people posting them, and I just completely missed it. But I think those look good.
You would have seen Mr. Chef Doomy, Adam Abuslim, talking about them because these are one of his favorites of the whole year.
You know what's crazy? Did he make that video recently?
No, like earlier in the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so in the dark. I didn't even realize who he was until I met him at ComplexCon. I don't even think I followed him. That's how I like discovered him, which is crazy. And he's like such a dope dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I've said before, I think I've said it on this podcast too. I'm like chronically not online. If I'm online, it's for like, I could pull up, I'm sure, my usage on my phone. It's like 10 minutes of Instagram a day. I'm
getting a bit
I'm busy.
a bit jealous of you because there was a post I saw yesterday of like, I'm not sure if it's just this year, but or like that it's November and I'm just tired, but I'm kind of sick and tired of being on Instagram a bit. I feel like that's a bit of a sentiment.
I am too.
I might be carrying that into 2026.
I think my main thing is when I'm on it, I like it too much, and I'm like, oh, I should be working because I have unlimited things I could be doing as a full-time creator. I'm like, I don't need all these distractions. Like I gotta focus on what I'm doing.
I understand.
I don't know. I go through phases.
I think there's a large part of it for me is when you're at work and there's like a downtime, it's kind of an easy kind of escape for me. So I suppose that's a good thing. And also just like, talking to people. I'm probably on the messaging part of Instagram more than anything. So, and then obviously like sharing to stories and such. So, I still do use it, but again, there's probably going to be some big life stuff happening in 2026 with a baby on the way.
Seriously.
That I'm going to be having to put that down for a little bit. So again, we're going to try and continue to. Thank you. We're going to be still going to try and do some podcast episodes, but I think it might slow down just a tad with a baby. So again, that was
as it should. Yeah, like priorities switching up. Like I get that.
Yeah, it's just a natural part of life, of course, and we all go through stages, and this is going to be a very fun and interesting stage of life for sure. That was your number 6 pair, the gel trainer from Temptation Vacation, again an Australian brand. Now we're going to go on to the next one here. You got some pretty high slots left, so you're going to be hoping that I've got some good pairs for you. And this is the Gel Cumulus 16. Again, this was called the Tomo colorway, but this was a collab with like 7 different stores, which was wild. I thought that was crazy. It was Lapstone and Hammer was kind of the main one that I saw over in Philadelphia. I've forgotten some of the other collaborators on it, but really, really solid pair, very available for people. Gel Cumulus 16, like I said, very comfortable model. Where did you think that these should sit in the top 10?
So this is one I didn't pick up. Wish I did, because I think they look great. Dude, on StockX right now, they're 151, which is not terrible. So it may be one I pick up at the end of the year. Just because I don't have it, I'll put it at 5. But I think if I had it, I would wear those a lot. Like I thought they did a
Yeah.
great job. I know a lot of
Very
people were kind
clean.
of like, oh, they have this many collaborators and this is what you came up with, but like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I think
mean,
if I
look at
designed a shoe, it looks similar.
You look at some of the pop tracks that get released these days when it comes to how many writers are on there, and they're like, wow, that sounds like every other artist. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of the meeting of the mind sometimes becomes a little bit like a blob, like a conglomeration of lots of different ideas. So these are really cool. I know a lot of people pick these up, very available here in Australia. So that's a very, very nice pair. And you're running out of spots. Like just looking at the blind ranking, you've only got number 1 and 2 left available. So I think you're definitely going to be using that one change in a moment. So let's get on to the last couple.
Possibly.
This one, bang, the up there Gel Kayano 12.1 in the Natsukashi colorway. Now you can go with 2 colorways. You got the green one and you've also got the white one. Personally, I've come around to the white one being my favorite. The green one still good.
I kind of agree.
But the white one just hits a bit different. Those red pops just hits. I had some red laces in there and then I switched back to the white ones just because I love that clean white,
I know.
Very, very nice. So I know where I would put these, but I'm very curious to see where you're gonna put these bad boys.
I'd put them at 2.
Yeah.
I love those shoes. I haven't worn them as much as I would like because I don't know, Asics like mesh runners are my summer shoes. And of course they come out like as it starts to sort of cool down over here in Atlanta. But I feel like I'm looking at the green pair right now and I actually keep the white one in the box because I'm like trying to not wear it as much and save it for summer. Yeah. But as soon as it gets warm out again, those are going to be heavy in the rotation. Yeah. Another one that's like kind of using the Jound formula where it's like it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. But like if you know, there's a ton of cool little details on it. And it just shout out to Up There. They had a killer year as well. Yeah. Like, banger after banger.
Bit of a slow start, and I was wondering what was going on, and I felt that there was like a storm coming. The calm before the sun. I was like, it's a bit quiet here. Like, what's going on? And then
too quiet.
It's a little too quiet. Yeah, as they say in the movies. So it's a little bit big year, and of course these are going to be. It's summer here in Australia, so these are going to be on feet a lot when it comes to the end of the year. Now, let's just quickly look at the blind ranking here. This is, you've got some Kith down the bottom. You've got the hidden MYs at 7. A little bit surprising there. I thought you'd have them a little bit higher. Jounds at 3 and the up there's at 2. So let's get on to our last pair. Again, a double pack. The Vandy, the pink Gel Nimbus 10.1. Now you've got the banana colorway and then you've also got this strawberry colorway. So there was 2 different colorways. Myself, I picked up the banana pair. I wish I had the strawberry one, to be honest, the pink one. A little bit, I don't know. I thought that the yellow one was going to be really, really nice. And it is still very nice, of course, but I do love that strawberry one if I have my time back. But, it's okay. I'm going to stick with the banana pair, but where do you think that these are going to be? And I know you've only got 1 spot left, so let's see. What are you feeling and where are these going to go in the top 10?
I actually have the banana pair. Shout out to Vandy. He sent those over before they dropped, and I actually got to hang out with him at Complex Con too. He's doing a ton of great projects this year, last year, and next year for him is very, very big. I'm actually really, really excited for everybody to, see what he's been working on. I think it's next year, the next following, he's dropping a really big project. But I mean, obviously it's number 1, but like that to me, I still haven't even wore the banana pair. I think it's a great looking shoe and I love the fuzzy laces, but I think if it was me, it'd be probably like 5 and shift this whole thing up and then it'd be great. But I think for 1, like that is a pretty solid shoe to have up there. I was holding out for 1 shoe that actually didn't make this list because it actually is my number 1 Asics. Yeah. And it's the Sneaker Politics Just Say No Hayano 14. That to me was my number 1 Asics this year just because it's kind of a different colorway and for some reason it goes with everything.
Yeah.
And I don't wear red shoes a lot. So
Yeah.
that one kind of let me step out of my comfort zone. And the wife actually has a pair too, so we have matching pairs.
Yeah. Well, if
So
you,
that to me is my number one.
I mean, I'll allow that if that's your one change. Like, what would you take off to put that as your number one? You know?
I would take off probably that second, the Kith one, the one at number 9, and then I
number
just
9 one.
shift it all. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Like,
and Sneaker Politics, man, of course, they're in Atlanta as well, right?
they're not. They're in
not, sorry.
they're kind of, they have like 4 different locations. I think Louisiana is their main store. But I know they have some in Texas. A few other locations. I've never been to their physical location, sadly. But the homies in Sneaker Politics had a great year too.
And they also had that Adidas and Adidas Harmony, wasn't it?
That one just
snapper. You got sent that one as well. Like that's a pretty sick pair. That's a crazy.
It's a cool pair. That's the first harmony that I've actually had. I really like a lot. Sneaker Politics is one of the brands that work on the Tomo pair as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
I had another one. I don't know what it was.
Wasn't it a? It was. I didn't know the model of it, but it was another Asics. Am I thinking? Yeah. I forgot the name of it. It was like kind of earth tones, like that kind of vibe.
I'm just quick.
They had a lot of like Sneaker Politics exclusive drops where like they just got colorways that other brands didn't get. But yeah, they killed it. Killed it.
Well, I'm going to be just quickly shuffling around this blind rank. So where were you going to put the Vandy the pink pair if you were going to put it anywhere?
I would put it at. Oh, that's so hard. If we're adding the Sneaker Politics, I'd put that at 1, Vandy at 6, and then shift everything down from 6, 7, 8.
6, 7. Yep.
Again.
I'm sorry. Oh man, I'm sure that people are very sick and tired of hearing that. I think that that definitely has translated now to Australia.
Has it? Oh, it's over there. Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry, you said Vandy the pink at 6. Yeah, nice. Well, we're gonna put that one in there. And how does it kind of look overall? Like, are there any kind of ones that you might change or move at all while I'm doing the shifting?
Not at all, actually.
No? Okay, fair enough.
I'm feeling good about that.
Mate, doing the podcast live, as in like doing the graphics and such, it does save a lot of time in the long run, but it is a little bit hard, especially when you throw these curveballs in of a pair I didn't even have.
I know.
It's all good. So now that is going to be our blind ranking, finishing right there.
That's actually perfect. Are you doing this in Photoshop, or what are you doing it on?
Just in the switching podcast switching software. It's called Broadcast
fun.
Studio. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to steal that for me and Charlie's like top 10 list. I feel like that's super fun.
Yeah, it's not quite as polished as I would like, but hey, it's all good. It looks pretty good there, and you've got the Politics there at 1, the up there at 2, Downed at 3, Invincible Asics at 4, Tomo at 5, Vandy the Pink at 6, the Gel Terrain from Temptation at 7, Hidden NY, so 2 gel trainers back to back, the Gel King at 16 from Finesse at 9, and the there we go, the Kith Marvel collab at 10. Man, pretty solid list.
Banging. And that's going to be a top 10 of Asics this year. It's kind of a little bit different from what we've done with some other lists this year. And again, we're going to be doing some more lists later in the year. We're going to do a top 10 New Balance, which I'm super excited about because
that'll be fun.
I know New Balance has had, in some people's eyes, a little bit of a slower year. I think it's just been slowed down by the rise or rejuvenation, so to speak, of Nike and Jordan. I feel like that's just been a crazy year for them. So it's kind of overshadowed some other brands like Asics and New Balance. But in their own right, they've had a very, very solid year, especially, with the Action Bronson pairs. The 990 V6 as well. Don't forget about that one earlier in the year. The Amazonia pair. Like, I think he was one of those people that was bummed that he wasn't on the top 10 list of Conflict. I think he's gotten used to being on that top 10 list. And I think he felt some type of way about not being on that list,
and rightfully so.
Yeah.
He had some great shoes.
Yeah.
He had some great shoes.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, it makes sense for these brands to sort of. I don't think any of them really slowed down this year, but it definitely makes sense. Like for the year that Jordan Brand was already setting up to have, like it makes sense to be like, all right, we're gonna chill, let them sort of fizzle out, and then we'll take over next year.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I get that.
I get you, and I think that it's good to have that competition because again, it's going to make the other brands kind of go up a little bit more and continue to push. And of course, Nike and Jordan have a lot of money, and throwing money at something a lot of the time can make things better, but not necessarily. Sometimes it's the word of mouth. Sometimes it's the people on the street that kind of make the sneakers what they are. And you know, sometimes you can plan for something that doesn't quite go the way you want it, but then you can you can kind of just throw it out there and see what people like, and it might just completely blow up, like a fair amount of sneakers have this year. So, man, it's been a great podcast. It's been a great episode. Thank you so much for joining me, Seth. Has there been any kind of other topics that you wanted to have a little quick chat about? I know we've covered a lot this episode, and you've got a lot going on, so you can, you know, check out any of Seth's other content. But is there anything that you wanted to kind of end the show on?
What was your top three? How would you have yours?
I mean, my top three, if I'm looking back at the blind ranking, man,
sheesh.
It doesn't have to be top three. It can be top however many. But
I think that I would probably put the Finesse store at 3, the Gel Cumulus at 3. I think I'd probably put the Up There one at 2. And then 1, I think the Vandy the Pink. I think it's just those 3 nice. I've got, and those are the 3 that I've worn the most this year. I just think that's kind of how it's gone for me this year. So
exactly, and that's always hard doing like a top 10 list as well. I'm like, dude, that like the Sneaker Politics shoe is probably the shoe I wore the most this year.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, that's my like probably. I mean, even on our list, I'm sure it's going to be in top 5 somehow. I don't know how yet, but like if you wear it, yeah. You're going to like it more.
I'm very excited to watch your lists and see how it all shakes out for you guys. I'm sure you've got something pretty special planned for all of us. So thank you again for making that podcast and obviously doing great work there. You and Charlie there doing. I've got to get Charlie on the podcast. I still haven't connected with him on Instagram or anything. It's kind of been, I suppose, parallel passing in the wind type of vibes. But
that's so funny.
He's got obviously, you know, very prolific with his content. Again, you can check out their links, Seth's, Charlie's, and their podcast down in the description below. Man, it's been a wild year, and I'm excited to wrap it up. And again, thank you so much for jumping on. Any kind of final shout outs you wanted to give out before we wrap up for the day?
Dude, shout out to all the homies I hung out with at almost said Sneaker Con. That was crazy. Complex Con. That was just a blast. I hopefully, you know, get to link up with you there at some point. But dude, I get it. It's a hassle even for me to get out there. Yeah. And I'm not even like 5 hours away, 6 hours away. Like it's hard. Those plane tickets are not cheap, even for me.
Yeah. So I'm sure they bump it up, especially I'm sure they bump up the price just because they know that there's an event going on, a big event. So
I know. Yeah. It's crazy. But no, shout out to everybody there. Shout out to everybody who even watches or rocks with my content. Like that's still crazy to me. Like 3-4 years into this, however many years. Absolutely insane, dude. One of my friends actually sent me a time hop, you know, those things where it's like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, this happened. And it was a screenshot of my Instagram page, and I had like 2,000 followers, and it was 3 years ago.
Wow.
And he was like, yo, that's crazy. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
3 years flew by. So shout out to everybody who's messed with my content over the past 3-4 years. It's just been a crazy ride.
Yes.
Feeling more thankful than ever.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Very well said, man. Very well said. And it's kind of, I'm sure over those years, you've had some people who you've kind of held on to and kind of appreciated a lot. I know that there's a lot of transient kind of people that come and go, and I'm sure there's been people who have stuck with you the whole time. And again, appreciate you for coming on. Thank you so much for giving me your thoughts on those Asics pairs. And again, it's been a crazy year, not only for Asics, but in sneakers. And we're keen to wrap it up with some more lists coming up. So check out the podcast next week. we'll be doing another list. I'll keep it a secret as to which brand we're doing, but you're just going to have to come back and check it out. So thank you so much to everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It's really, really helpful to people. People come and see it. People get to discover new opinions and thoughts on sneakers. So thank you so much to everybody. Have a good day.
Peace.